Oh, what going on? What going on? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's the business? What the business? What the business? It's been a minute. I know it. I know it. It's been a minute. But for those that know, I've been chilling, man. I've been chilling. I finished my book. I said I was gonna have the rough draft read about October 1st. I'm a month ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. Um, as y'all do know, my grandson came into the world July 18th. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy for that and good old granddad in there. I'm on granddad to do this. My daughter, her daughter, what she say? August 28th, so next week. I keep telling her it ain't gonna pop out next week. Might be before the 28th, but that's her due date. They gonna go on and induce her labor. So my granddaughter will be in the world next week. So yeah, I've been chilling. I've been chilling, taking a little time out, finishing my book. The road draft finished. Now I gotta, search around for publishing. Try to get that out there for y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's called the Women's Index. And it's for men to have a better idea of what they're dealing with in today's dating market. You know what I'm saying? Help y'all figure out what y'all want to invest in, what y'all want to get into. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so I'm looking for a publisher now, trying to get that out of the way. You know what I'm saying? And also, starting October 1st, since I'm a month ahead of time, starting October 1st, I will be building the app. It's a dating app. So I will be building a dating app starting October 1st, and it's called the Swipevestor app. So if you see that in my name on my YouTube page, yeah, that's what that is. Swipevestor. That's the name of the app I'm building. So that's gonna be on the way soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on that. My son gonna help me work on that and all that right there. So yeah, I've been doing some things. Trying to do some things. You know what I'm saying? Trying to create some products for the people. You know what I'm saying? So they can get ahead in life in all different aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, so being a granddaddy, man, I love my little grandson. I love my grandson third. You know what I'm saying? I call him third. People want to call him different name, but it's third over here. And that boy, oh, he's something serious. He's something serious. He knows it's all get out. You know what I'm saying? If you hold him, if you got him up on your shoulder, he cocking his head back, trying to look all in your face and everything right there. He's something serious with himself. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Every time he come over here, what we go get him from his mama house or she come over here with him. I'm always grabbing him and like, I love my grandson. You know what I'm saying? That's just something special to me right now. Just to have, just for even though my son jumped the gun, like I tell him all the time, like you jumped the gun. I said you didn't get your diploma before you got your baby. And even though he did that, I can't be mad at him for creating such a beautiful child. You know what I'm saying? Him and his baby mama. So yeah, that's it's lovely being a granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? It's lovely being a granddaddy. He at the point now the way he hear my voice, he already know like granddaddy got me. Yeah, I ain't even got to worry about granddaddy got me. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he get ready to start school next week on the 25th. So there's a lot of things going on my end. You know what I'm saying? I just been chilling. I still been listening and watching. You know what I'm saying? I chime in when I can on people chats. I ain't been on nobody panels. Like I said, I've been working. I've been working. I've been working. Cause it's just something I had to get out of my system. You know what I'm saying? I had to create that book just to get it out of my system. I've been promising folks for years I was gonna write a book. Like before I started watching YouTube, it was like in my real life, I've been promising my people a book because they just seen how I operate, how I deal with people, how I deal with women, how I talk, this, that, and the third. So it just came out, and it took a little time to come out because it's about comparing women to stocks, and men are investors and all that right there. And for me, I'm not the Warren Buffett or whatever the case may be. What's going on? What's going on? I'm not Warren Buffett. I'm not Benjamin Graham. I'm not some of the great financial wizards in the world and all that right there. So it took me a little time to really get the terminology together, the definitions of certain things and all that right there, the financial literacy that we talk about that we need to learn. So I had to really dive off into that just so I can get a definition of something to use it in my book to talk about women and different types of women and all that right there. So it took a little time. It took long. It really didn't take as long as I expected it. It just so happened I finished early. And it just breaking down is like, first is like what you have as a man is your capital, your money, your energy, your attention, your time, and your discipline. That's your capital as a man. And then I go into the different types of stocks. You got penny stocks, you got income stocks, you got speculative, cyclical, growth stocks, value stocks. It's all different types of stocks, and it's all comparing the different types of women in the world. You know what I'm saying? And basically, it's like what I hear from the different content creators, whether you on one side of the aisle saying all women are trash and women ain't this and women ain't that, or you on the other side of the aisle to where baby mamas are cool and being a stepfather's this and that, whatever the case may be, wherever your stance at in relationships as a man, it's going to help you understand what you be doing wrong as a man. It's gonna help you understand what you're doing wrong as a man. And just off the muscle, it's like when I hear a lot of these guys talk about the worst of the worst, it's like, well, that's all that's being pumped. That's all that's being promoted. And I've said on numerous occasions that whatever you do in one part of your life is what you're gonna do in all parts of your life. So as a man that's, I got business sense, when I see the IG models and the OF models getting pumped all the time, I'm like, that's what's being sold to y'all men all day, every day, is the worst of the worst. That's what's being sold to y'all all day, every day, is the worst of the worst. So now you got it in your head is that this the only women that's available, when it's like, no, that's not the only women that's available. That's the only women that they're pushing, the worst of the worst. And before I go any further, yes, it's a seller's market. But again, I don't know a point in time of mankind to where it's never been a seller's market. I don't know a point in time where you as a man never gave up your resources for a woman. I don't know a point in time. If you want to go back to the barter system, you gave up this, that, and the third. You gave up cows and chickens and corn to get the hand of some guy's daughter. You done gave up stuff. You done gave up land. You done gave up gold. You done gave up fabrics. You done gave up spices. You done gave up money. All in the name of having a woman on your side, whether it's for building an empire or just making babies. Us as men have always gave up our resources to women. I don't know a point in time where we haven't done that. So for all the conversation I hear now is, we're doing too much and we're not getting what we want and all that right there. We always gave up resources. We always gave up resources. You can take that how you want to take it. You can take it for what it's worth, whatever the case may be. But as a man, you always gave up your resources to get a woman. That's not me caping. That's not me being a simp. That's not me on no sucker shit. That's just me being real. You always gave up resources. And it ain't always been money. Like I said, money, energy, attention, and time has always been your capital. And you always gave it up. You always gave it up. Then I hear the whole we ain't getting nothing in return. We spending too much and ain't getting nothing in return. Y'all have heard of inflation, right? We are in inflation, right? Things have the prices of goods have grown over the years, and you don't get what you used to pay for. I remember my mama when she was living, God rest her dead. And I remember when I was growing up as a little boy, teenager, she used to tell me how much a dollar used to get her when she was a teenager, when she was a little girl. How much a dollar would stretch when she can get a burger and drinks and chips and the whole nine for a dollar. And she telling me all this when my dollar only got me a big boy jungle juice and a bag of chips and a few pieces of candy. You feel what I'm saying? So when my son and my daughter were growing up and I give them a dollar or $2 and they come back with little or nothing, I'm like, it is what it is. It's inflation. The price of goods went up and you don't get nothing in return. You ain't getting nothing. It ain't worth the dollar ain't worth nothing, and you getting nothing. You getting a bag of earth instead of a bag of chips. You getting small sheets of toilet paper. You ain't getting what you really want, or you ain't getting what you really paying for. You getting enough to survive. It ain't plentiful. It ain't bounty. You know what I'm saying? You're only getting enough. The price of cars, the price of houses, the price of clothes, the price of shoes, everything rose in price. When I was in school, I remember the price of Jordans was $100. 100 when I was in high school. Now it's 220. And you getting the same shoes I got when I was 15. 30 years later. Same shoes, same colorways, might be some new colorways, but you ain't getting nothing different and you paying $120 more than what I paid for when I was 15, 16, 17 years old. Inflation the mud. Capitalism is what it is and all that right there. So with everything rising in prices and you basically getting the same thing for more, what makes you think the price of relationships didn't rise too? What makes you think that the price of getting in a relationship with a woman, whether she's just a little junk or something you trying to grow with and have a long-term relationship, what makes you think the price stayed the same from when I got with my wife in 2004? I got with my wife in 2004. It took me $50. A Victoria's Secret gift basket. Took me $50, and I've been with her 2 decades. And now a woman that's worth her weight in salt, a good woman, a woman that's willing to grow with you and have value to you and all that. What you think she worth now? If mine was worth 50, the buy-in for mine was 50 20 years ago. What you think the buy-in now for a good woman that's really gonna stand by your side, that's gonna give you 20, 30 years of her life? What you think to buy in now? It ain't $50 no more. It ain't necessarily 500 either. You ain't gotta break yourself if she a good woman. It's just that you gotta spend a little money to get a good woman. Just like you gonna spend a little money to get a little joint. Just like you gonna spend a little money, get a little joint, a little one night stand, asking you gonna spend a couple of dollars. It is what it is. Cause when I was coming up, a little joint was running 50. The same price it cost for me to get in with my wife was the same price I would get a little joint. Just to knock off for a couple of minutes. $50. Pricing changed. Now you gotta hit their cash out before you even get their phone number. They want to go out for lunch. You gotta send them $100 for lunch. They create lifestyles for you to spend all your hard-earned money on their lifestyle they create, and then if you can't do it, they turn around and call you broke. Yeah, I ain't had to deal with that when I was in my 20s. I ain't had to deal with that when I was in my teens. I ain't had to deal with that for a long time. I ain't had to deal with that. So I feel sorry for you guys that haven't dealt with that right now in 2025 over the past 15 years. I feel sorry for you. But I don't feel sorry for you because at the same time, is y'all the reason why they act the way they act. When you sit up here and talk about these women behaving badly, they selling box and all that right there, who buying it? We is. We buying it. I ain't gonna tell you not to do it. I'm not gonna tell you not to spend your money, but your time or your energy, whatever the case. I'm not gonna tell you not to spend your capital. But you can't be investing all your capital into women that's behaving badly and then expect for them to act right when they were acting wrong the whole time. Emotional roller coaster that got good box. That's what you're investing in. And I done heard on several panels that you make your decision based off the box. If the box hidden or not, and then you'll want to keep it. I'm like, but you don't know nothing else about her except the box good, and then you expect her because she a woman to have wifely duties. You expect her to be able to cook something from scratch. You expect her to keep the house clean. You expect her to be your personal toy in the bedroom, and when she don't do none of that, now she might be your personal toy in the bedroom, but outside of that, when she don't give you the home cooked meals or the house a little dirty, the kids ain't tended to like you want them to. Now you want to complain talking about she ain't trying to do nothing. But it's like, bruh, you didn't invest in a woman that was wanting to do something. You invested into a woman that had a pretty face and a fat ass and some good box. That's what you invested in. So again, I'm not gonna tell you wrong, but I'm gonna tell you that you got what you paid for. And now you want it to be something different because you decided to keep her. And she ain't give you none of the things you need for a long-term relationship. And now you complaining to the world that she ain't shit. But that's what you bought. That's what you paid for. That's what you gave up your money for. That's what you gave up your time for. Nothing but some pussy. And then to complain that she won't give you nothing else, but that's all you wanted in the beginning. And you think that you might have digmatized or whatever the case may be, and now all of a sudden she finna start making biscuits from scratch and shit like that, and she don't do it. Now you're complaining. And the ones that's willing to do all the things you want in a wife or a baby mom or whatever the case may be, the one that you really want in a relationship that really gonna bend over backwards for you, the ones that's willing to do all that, guess what? You say they cost too much. The price too high. You're not willing to do this, that, and the third for a woman that has potential to be great, to be a good wife, to be a good mother. You're not willing to invest what you need to invest in her because it takes too much to invest in her. Her standards too high. Well, anything that's worth is gonna be running your pockets. It's gonna run your pockets. You ain't got no problem trying to get your money up to go get the Lambo. You ain't got no problem getting your money up trying to get a new pair of J's every week. You ain't got no problem trying to get your money up to go buy anything else you want. To show out for your niggas, to show out for women, whatever the case may be. You ain't got no problem getting your bread up to do that. But when it comes down to a person that you're going to have on your side for whatever amount of time, and you want the best of the best, you feel like you're getting robbed because her standards are above the basic bitch. Her standards are above the IG model that stays showing her ass and titties on that dirty sink in the bathroom with the dirty mirror. Her standards are above the OF model that's charging you $4.99 a month to watch her take pipe from another dude. She actually got some class, some morals, some value about herself. She might got a little education. Might make a little money and all that right there. And you look at that as a bad thing. I look at that as like a jackpot. So like I said in the beginning, I'm business minded. And there's one thing that me writing this book opened up that business mind that I always had in me. That salesmanship that I always had in me. I'm looking at this as a business thing. It's always been transactional. It's what you paying for. It's what you want. And just like I know with guys, you want something for nothing. You want something for nothing. You feel like you shouldn't have to do all the things that you have to do to get a good quality woman. And in some cases, you don't have to do a lot. One thing for sure I know is they want you to buy them shit. That's a given. That's a given. They ain't asking you to go spend $500, $600 at a restaurant. They ain't ask you to take them on shopping sprees all the time and shit like that. What you see online, what you see on the internet, and all that right there, that's microeconomics. That's the small percentage of bad behaving women that get blown up for y'all to look at and say all women are like that. No. Are there some out there like that? Yes. I would be lying to you and say they're not out there. They out there. There's bad behaving women no matter what do with them. I give y'all that. I give y'all that. But it's always been transactional. It's always been a business. How many times have you heard in the past 10, 15 years that marriage is a business? How many times have you heard that? The kids are byproducts of the business. How long have you been hearing that? When you go to divorce court, for those that think they got 6, 7 figures in the bank account and think somebody's gonna get half, that's business. The business done dissolved. It's done split up. They take half, you take half. And they have most businesses do anyway. When we decide to end this business, I'ma take part, you take part. We gonna sell what we can sell, and whatever we make, I'ma get half, you get half. And they have most businesses end when they decide to end. They have a fire sale and get rid of everything so they can have whatever money left over. That's how most businesses end, ain't it? And I know how I come. It ain't gonna be provocative. It ain't drama filled and all that. It's just my common sense. It's just me coming from the angle of a businessman. That's it. That's it. And a lot of men, y'all don't know how to invest. And now for the women, I be on y'all head too. Y'all the products. Y'all the stocks. And guess what? Y'all can't separate y'allself from the bad stocks. The good ones can't separate themselves from the bad ones. And then be complaining why you can't get a good man, man, because you standing next to this piece of shit. Birds of a feather. Not all of y'all, but hey, I sit here and have these conversations with my wife when she talking about her folks and her friends and all that right there, and the bullshit they do, and I'm like, well, hey, what you gonna do? Either you gonna stand with them or you gonna stand over here against them? Cause we can have a whole conversation talking about how fucked up some of the women is in the world, and then if your sister or your mama do some fucked up shit, you gonna ride with your mama. I'm like, well, what's the point of you talking about how bad women are when a person that's close to you act bad, you gonna ride with them? And then expect for me not to say nothing about you riding with a bad acting woman when you want to when you want to put yourself in the bracket of I'm a good woman. I done had plenty of arguments with my wife on that just by itself. So again, for the guys that be talking about they want the good quality of women, guess what? It's hard for y'all to push out you a good quality woman when you want to act like the bad behaving women. When you want to be in the same room with the bad behaving women, and you don't want to be the pick me. You don't want to have your hand up and saying you a good girl, that you're gonna do right. No, you want to be on the same shit the bad ones acting on, and just hope that this man got enough information, enough knowledge to pick you out of the bad ones. You just hope he know enough that he can see the good one, which is kind of hard when y'all act the same at times. Then that, and then do you really want relationships? Do you really want a relationship? Do you just want to be on the market all the time? Is it always for sale to the highest bidder? Or do you really want to be in a relationship? That's another question that got to be asked. Because you'll be with this dude and you'll say you're going to accept this dude for who he is and did. But the minute he can't come through on something, and most of the time it's financial, he can't take you somewhere, he can't buy you something, he can't do this, that, and then most of the financial, the minute he can't do that, then you look at him like he ain't shit. But this is the guy you say you love and care about. And the minute he can't do something for you, you don't want to talk to him no more. You don't want nothing else to do with him. And then you'll end up with this guy that got the money to do something for you, but really don't give a damn about you. And you say you want relationships. You want to be with a good dude. But he can't go broke. And then how you look at dudes. You have a bad choice. Like, for y'all to have this women's intuition, for y'all to know so much about how men operate, how is it that y'all always end up with bad acting dudes? How is it that the ones that you say worth a damn you don't never be with, and the ones that ain't shit you always with? How is that possible if y'all so smart? If y'all got all this intuition that God gave a goose, how is it that y'all always end up with the bad guys and the good guys left out in the cold? And you always wonder where the good ones at, and then the good one walk up in your face, I don't like them. How is that possible? So again, I know my POV, my angle of all this DNP conversation, these relationships. It ain't for everybody. I know that. I know that. Because I'm not finna give you the drama. I'm not finna give you the exploits of TikTok and IG. I'm not finna do all that. I'm just giving you straight facts from a businessman. I'm gonna give you straight facts. The psychology of business, power, attraction, money, all that rolled up into one. How you move at the workplace is how you move with women, how you move with dudes, how you move with family, how you move in the real world. It travels all across the board. In your 24 hours a day, how you move over here is how you're going to move over there. In every aspect of your life, is that's how you're moving. If you one of them motherfuckers that like to gamble all the time, you like going to casino and take $1 or whatever down to the casino and hope you can come up on 100 with $1, guess what? That's how you move across the board. If you one of them individuals that you trying to get the best out of life and you gonna work hard for, you gonna save and save and save until you get what you gonna get, what you want out of life, guess what? That's how you moving across the board. There's no different. If you move in chaos in one area, you're gonna move in chaos in all areas. If you move with a peace and a calm in one area, you're gonna move with a peace and calm in all areas. If you really got a strategy to win, you're gonna win in all areas. If you just rolling the dice and hope it hits 7 or 11 on the first roll, you're gonna be gambling in all areas. Cause even with stocks, it's a strategy. A lot of people got messed over when 2020 came around and we was all in the house looking stupid. Everybody want to get on Robinhood and start day trading, whatever the case may be. Man, 75% of people lost money because they ain't know what they were doing. They ain't had no strategy. They were just moving. Didn't know none of the terms.